It's for a good cause, I swear. By Sarah1281. Chapter 5. Failing at D ranks is harder than it looks. Team 7. Minato greeted them as they stood in front of him to receive the next mission. You have managed to fail every single D rank mission we have. What do you have to say for yourselves?
That takes talent?
Naruto volunteered. Naruto, Minato said sternly.
What? Have you ever tried to fail at some of those?
Naruto shot back. How do we manage to fail at finding Tora? Sakura asked. Since we did in fact find Tora. That cat hasn't been the same since you brought it back, and from what I hear, practically has a panic attack every time it spots one of you. Minato pointed out. That's very strange, Sasuke said neutrally. I'm sure it is. You can't babysit because the children invariably insist on throwing stick kunai at the people around them for moving target practice. You can't go shopping in a neighboring village because you compete to see who can get the cheapest deals and so end up haggling all day. You can't help with farming because Naruto's clones eat all the food. You can't help paint fences or buildings because that would start another paint war. Minato recited. Kakashi, shouldn't you be, trying to get them to pass? They currently hold the record for most D ranks failed ever. Kakashi beamed. I knew they had it in them. Besides, if you think about it, it really takes far more effort and creativity to manage to fail so many consecutive D rank missions. Minato sighed. But there aren't actually any more D rank missions they are eligible for. Then I guess that means it's time to graduate to C rank missions, Kakashi said brightly. Failing C rank missions are a bit more serious than failing D ranks, Minato told them seriously. As the Jonin instructor, you have the right to request they moved up to C ranks, but I need to know that you all will take these seriously. Sakura nodded. Absolutely. Sasuke grunted in agreement.
Give us any escort missions to wave!
Naruto called. Minato blinked. It just so happens that there is an escort mission to the Land of Waves. Naruto, have you been sneaking looks at the mission scrolls again? No, Naruto denied, sounding far too innocent to be believed. Kakashi? Minato asked. We'll take it, Kakashi replied. Alright, I'll just let Tazuna know, Minato said, writing their team down on the mission roster and calling in the old bridge builder.
What's this?
Tazuna asked, taking a swig of his bottle.
They're all just a bunch of super rats, especially the short one with the stupid face.
That's my son, you know, Minato informed him, sounding amused.
I feel confident that Kana will be able to provide for me with a competent force to protect me on my journey home.
Tazuna immediately backtracked. Naruto smirked at him. Oh, we'll definitely be able to protect you from any run-of-the-mill bandits you're likely to encounter because that is well within our qualifications.
Great,
Tazuna said, looking a little nervous. Alright guys, let's meet at the village gate at 9 tomorrow, Kakashi ordered. I'll make sure to let Anko know, Minato assured the three Genin.
So, tomorrow's your first day out of Konoha with your brats.
Anko mused aloud when Kakashi arrived back at their apartment later that day. How did you know? Kakashi asked, a little surprised.
Minato called me in and asked me to make sure you'd be there on time, she explained. Honestly, it's like every time you're late for something, they hold Obito or I personally responsible. If I knew I'd be your personal alarm clock, I never would have agreed to go out with you.
But now you're stuck with me, Kakashi said smugly.
It's the mask!
Anko insisted.
I love being the only one to know what you look like without it.
Even more so since you started giving everyone who asked a different description, Kakashi concurred. Although the current most popular theory is that I have a bad third-degree sunburn that I hide from shame, which is completely ridiculous as it's kind of hard to get a sunburn on your face when it's always covered by a mask. But
if they would stop asking me, I'd stop giving them false information,
Anko said defiantly, crossing her arms.
You must be happy, huh? Your dream team finally getting a chance to prove themselves?
Oh, I don't know, Kakashi replied. Watching them plot new ways to fail all the D-rank missions they were given was quite entertaining.
I'll bet! Why were you so adamant about having those three anyway?
Anko asked him.
I mean, Naruto and Sasuke I can understand because of Minato and Obito, but what about Pinky? What's her name again?
Sakura, Kakashi supplied.
Right.
Anko nodded.
I've seen her around a few times, and from what I've seen, she's a zealous Sasuke fangirl. Well, I'm sure she'll grow out of it. You wanted her specifically.
A lot of girls are at that age, Kakashi pointed out. Even Hyuga Hinata, the only one who graduated who wasn't a Sasuke fangirl, was infatuated with Naruto. So I couldn't pick a Kunoichi based on that. And Sakura reminds me a lot of Rin, actually.
Better not tell her that until Sakura outgrows the fangirl stage.
Anko warned him.
Or she will hurt you.
Duly noted, Kakashi said dryly. And she's gotten a lot better in the past month. It's like she's years more mature and she hasn't slipped into fangirl mode once. She really seems to be taking this seriously.
Contribute to your teaching skills, I'm sure.
Anko deadpanned. I can see where I'm not wanted. Kakashi sniffed. I guess I'll just have to take my underappreciated teaching skills elsewhere.
Oh, you know you'd be lost without me.
Anko teased.
After all, Obito has enough tardiness issues of his own to be able to make you show up on time all by himself.
Oh, I don't know, Kakashi said thoughtfully. Last month, when you were both on a mission, Itachi did an amazing job of getting me where I needed to be far before I felt I needed to be there.
True,
Anko conceded.
but which would you rather have? The threat of losing your precious but replaceable porn, or a happy fiancé?
Eyeing Anko's fishnet top and appreciating the fact she'd taken off her trench coat, Kakashi's decision was easy. A happy fiancé. So, this is your first time leaving the village on your first ever C-rank mission. Minato said at dinner that night. Naruto rolled his eyes.
Dad, don't tell me you're going to get all sappy on me.
I wouldn't dream of it, Minato promised. Still, this is not just one milestone, but two. And after only a month. You know, Jiraiya-sensei didn't let us leave the village for a good 3 months. Naruto snorted.
Is that because he didn't want to leave the convenience of the Konoha onsen and, more specifically, the women's area?
Partly, Minato admitted. But unlike with you, when we moved up the C-rank missions, it was because we were ready for them, not out of necessity.
If Kakashi didn't feel we were ready for it, he would have stopped us before we got ourselves blacklisted from at least one of the D-rank missions,
Naruto claimed. Minato looked at him incredulously.
Probably,
he amended. So why wave? Minato asked curiously. Huh? You said you wanted an escort mission and then specified that you would prefer it to be in the land of wave, Minato reminded him.
Oh, right,
Naruto said. So maybe he'd been periodically checking the incoming missions to see when Tazuna's would come up so he, Sakura, and Sasuke could pace themselves in their mission mailing and they could demand a C rank at the right time.
Well, I've heard the situation in his wave is pretty bad right now, and if this guy needs an escort, he must be pretty important, right?
Possibly, Minato agreed.
And if he's important, then he may be able to help Wave, and so by helping him, we'll be making things better there. And besides,
Naruto grinned
cheekily, he's a bridge builder, right? So if we manage to save his life on our mission, then he'll be so grateful he'll have to name the bridge after me. I can just see it now. The Great Naruto Bridge.
I never did understand why you decided that was one of your goals in life when you were 8, Minato remarked.
Because when I was 8, it occurred to me that that would be awesome,
Naruto replied. Ah, I forgot the awesome factor, Minato said wryly. That was around when you decided you wanted to be Hokage, isn't it? You know, at first you just saw all the paperwork I had to do and long hours I put in and declared you wouldn't get within 5 people of the position. What changed your mind? The fact that he'd always wanted to be Hokage since the third had explained his job to him so many years ago, and he'd realized that if he were Hokage, he'd have respect but mixed up the cause and effect. He couldn't very well say that, though. His father had been suspicious enough during those first few weeks he couldn't remember his life in this timeline. But unfortunately, he had the easy fallback of trauma from seeing the end result of the massacre. And the massacre itself, but that was another thing that he couldn't very well admit to. Especially as his father knew Itachi never would have left him there to witness all that death at such a young age.
I didn't,
Naruto finally settled on a reason.
But then Orochimaru came and killed the Uchiha and destroyed Sasuke's innocence, and I never wanted something like that to happen to anybody I care about ever again. I want the power to protect Konoha and all my precious people who make it up. Becoming Hokage seems like the best way to do this.
Minato smiled at him, and Naruto could tell that he was pleased with that answer.
Besides,
he couldn't resist adding,
all that paperwork won't stand a chance against my army of Kage Bunshin.
So, tomorrow is your first mission outside the village, huh? Itachi asked rhetorically. They were on their own that night, as Obito and Rin had gone out for a nice dinner. Sasuke looked up from his food in surprise. How did you know? I know everything, Itachi said mysteriously. At Sasuke's skeptical look, he relented. He has to put into it is simply ridiculous. How old were you when you had your first mission outside the village? Sasuke asked. 7. Itachi replied. It was 2 months after I had graduated the academy, and a local village was having some problems with wild animal attacks, so we had to take them out. Killing on your first C-rank mission? Sasuke, how old were you when you had your first mission outside the village? Sasuke asked. 7. Itachi replied. It was 2 months after I had graduated the academy, and a local village was having some problems with wild animal attacks, so we had to take them out. Killing on your first C-rank mission? Sasuke asked distastefully. Then again, he had never gotten around to killing anyone until he was 16. Obviously, as a non-blue captain at 13 and committing the massacre at the same age. Things were different for Itachi, but 7 was still a little young. Itachi shrugged. Better wild animals than humans for your first time. Your mission probably won't involve either, since it is a simple escort mission, but you never know when a mission will take an unexpected turn. You can't account for everything, and clients will not always be honest with you. Sasuke nodded. He'd learned that particular lesson the hard way when he thought Kakashi had gotten himself killed the last time they'd taken this mission. I hope the mission runs smoothly, but according to Naruto, the situation in Wave is pretty dire, so who even knows? So you're pretty happy with your team then? I've known Kakashi and Naruto for years, Sasuke replied. They may annoy me to no end, but I'm used to them, I guess. Sakura's gotten over her fangirl tendencies remarkably fast, so even working with her isn't really a problem. Although, if they don't let that whole revenge thing drop, then I simply cannot be held accountable for my actions. Itachi looked at him seriously. You still hated seek vengeance on Orochimaru for the massacre? Sasuke winced internally. He really didn't want to talk about the massacre, especially not with the person who had actually perpetrated it, regardless of what most people in this new timeline believed. Besides, how was he supposed to reassure his brother that he didn't hate him when he did in fact hate Orochimaru and wasn't supposed to know what had really happened? I hold Orochimaru responsible for destroying my family, he said slowly, in more ways than one, as the Snake Seinen had not only induced him to abandon Kakashi, Sakura, and Naruto right when they were finally coming together as a team, which he still wasn't sure if he regretted or not, but also had manifested himself during his fight with Itachi and drove him closer to his death by exhaustion. Granted, with his illness, he would have died soon anyway, but that really wasn't the point, was it? Sasuke chose his next words carefully. And yes, I do fully intend to see him pay for that. The massacre, I never saw it coming. I don't know why it happened, and the not knowing, not understanding, is killing me. It all seems so senseless. But it's not just that. Orochimaru is crazy. From what I can tell, he's brilliant, but no one can deny he's mad. The experiments he's conducted on people, will conduct on people, he sheds bodies like the snakes he so loves, and if he isn't stopped, he will continue to wreak havoc on the world. And did he mention how much he wanted revenge? Still, given the situation, downplaying that and focusing on the things he'd seen in his time in Odo and the Konoha invasion itself was probably the best way to handle it. I'm going on a mission tomorrow, Sakura announced it to her parents. That's nice, her mother said absently. What is it this time? Gardening, filling in at the onsen, babysitting? Ninja are so versatile. Nope, Sakura said cheerfully. We already went through all of those, so we're going on an escort mission. An escort mission? Her father asked. Does that mean you're going to be leaving Konoha? Sakura nodded. We're going to be escorting a bridge builder back to his home in the Land of Waves. It's only a C-rank mission, so it should be pretty basic. Just watching out for bandits and wild animal attacks, that kind of thing. Supposed to be? Her father repeated. Does that mean it won't? Sakura shrugged. I don't know, she lied. It shouldn't be, but it never hurts to be prepared, and might kill you not to be, so... Kill you? Her mother jumped on that, alarmed. I'm not going to get myself killed on my very first C-rank mission, Mom, Sakura assured her. Or on any C-rank mission if I can help it. Kakashi, Naruto, and Ino would never let me live it down. Even Sasuke would probably have something to say about it. Sakura, her mother hesitated. You're sure that being a ninja is what you want to do? It's a little late to be asking me that now that I've graduated and am a registered kunoichi, don't you think? Sakura pointed out. I know, her mother acknowledged. But it's one thing to know that one day your only child would be facing life or death situations, and it's quite another for that one day to be tomorrow. I know that you're worried, Mom, but Kakashi is very well qualified, and I have nothing but faith in him and in my teammates. I'll face tougher challenges than getting one old man home in one piece, and I'll come back from them in one piece myself. I promise. Besides, I'd be hopelessly behind if I switched career paths now, Sakura said lightly. We may not understand the life of a ninja very well, her father told her seriously. But don't forget that we're proud of you, honey. The next day, to their surprise and mild horror, Kakashi was already waiting at the Konoha gates when the three Genins showed up. How in the world did I manage to be late? Sakura wondered. My house is 20 minutes away and I left 45 minutes early. You're not late, Sasuke said, sounding as if he were in shock as well. Kakashi is early.
You know, it's a sad day indeed when we get somewhere after Kakashi does.
Naruto shook his head ruefully. Laugh all you want, Kakashi told him. Uncle wanted me to be here on time, and she could be very persuasive.
Really?
Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. Kakashi had nodded happily. Yes, but you're far too young to hear anymore.
Like we'd even want to,
Sakura said, making a face.
You're honestly accusing us of being too young?
Naruto demanded.
Seriously? After everything? That's rich. He's got a point.
Tazuna piped up.
You three barely look old enough to have hit puberty, especially her.
Sakura automatically raised her fist, but Naruto held her back. Now, Sakura-chan, he whispered, if I didn't get to kill him, neither do you. Besides, Wave needs him, remember? Reluctantly, Sakura stood down. She knew Naruto was right, but honestly, given the man was lying to them about the danger of the mission and could very well have gotten the three fresh out of the academy getting killed, particularly her as she was useless at the time, and Naruto as he'd confided that he couldn't properly use his chakra until he'd accessed the Kyuubi's, which made it ironic that Sasuke was the one to nearly die. Would it kill him to be polite? It would have made their decision to keep going once they found out the truth a lot easier. With that, they were off.